Hello, good morning, Seetal ma'am. It's a pleasure to have you on my show, and I'm really excited for the discussion that we are going to have. And also, I'm really pleased. You have written several books, and you are coaching so many CEOs. Also, running the NGO. That's really wonderful. So that's why I thought let's talk to Seetal ma'am, and then we can have a wonderful discussion that is coming out. So, welcome to the Karam Show, and I am really looking forward to see the interview in progress.
Thank you, thank you, thank you so much, and I look forward to the session.
Yes. So, my first question is like, please share your story. And I have listened to your story many times, but for the audience, so what is your story? How did you get started? What the challenges you faced, and what are the current challenges you are facing, and something around that.
Superb. So, yes, the story started in 1998 when I decided that I wanted to do something in my entrepreneurial journey.
Mhm.
And it coincided, I think, with India's liberalization plans as well. So, finally, liberalization was bearing fruit. Companies were buying, communicating, hiring, negotiating, and the Indian professional was given an opportunity to interact with the world. So things really did open up. Also, a lot of multinational companies set up shop in India. So they
Mhm.
also were constantly looking for talent, and bosses were sitting in different parts of the world. So
Right.
that's where the journey started, where I felt that soft skills would help people upgrade the way they present themselves.
Okay.
Honestly, Indian academic system is very good. It takes care of your intellectual skills as well as technical skills, but
Right.
it has no focus on any of the soft skills. So, how to communicate effectively, how to present the best version of yourself. So,
Okay.
that's where the journey started. It wasn't easy to start with. So, I had to meet a
Yes.
lot of people. And I connected with a lot of people. Physically met, of course, that was not the world of Zoom. So had to actually
Yes.
set up
Yes.
meetings and go and meet a lot of people, CEOs, HR heads, and convince them that their teams needed the skill. Let me be honest, it wasn't easy at all because people always felt that why do you need the skill? So they would always be very generous and say, yes, of course, Miss Mehra, you can come and teach, but do you want us to pay you for it? So they
Yes.
clearly
Yes.
felt that this is a wonderful free platform for Miss Mehra to polish her skills. So it took
Yes.
me a
Yes.
couple of years,
Mhm.
and it was frustrating, it was not easy, and finally, of course, I finally got business from a very large pharmaceutical company and
Mhm.
a very large chemicals company, and that's where the journey started. And yes,
Okay.
it's been 22 years now. I have trained about 70,000 people, and with progressive Indian companies as well as large multinational companies. And over the years, I've seen one generation of corporate professionals. So people who started their career and were
Mhm.
in their 30s today are
Okay.
in very senior successful roles now that they are in their mid to late 50s. So yes, one generation of corporate professionals. And
Okay.
it's been interesting. Skill sets have changed. I've also had to keep changing, evolving as a trainer, as a coach, as a mentor. And
Okay.
yeah, but I think it's amazing how, Indian professional has really got a place in the global space. And I do believe that we are very good, and just a little bit of polishing and self awareness of
Mhm.
certain skills. So
Okay.
executive presence journey started only 3 years ago when I
Okay.
started researching for the book. Yes, the
Okay.
challenges continue. I think there's no life without challenges. Like the latest challenge in the last 12 months has been how to go virtual and
Okay.
conduct coaching as well as trainings online. And happy to share that I've done about maybe 200 sessions, and
Okay.
it's
That's
amazing. So,
wonderful.
yes,
Yes.
it's been a good
Yes.
year. Yes.
Okay, that's really wonderful. And like in the recent year, like you have written this book, so I would like to share you to share something about this book. And I started reading this book, and this is really wonderful. So, what is this executive presence, and how you define it?
If I had to really define it, people of course call it the it factor, the X factor. The
Mm-hmm.
interesting bit is that it is mysterious. And the second bit is that it is very easy to spot, but very tough to define. So when people
Mm-hmm.
see it, they know they've seen it. They would say, yes, Raghuram Rajan has it, Barack Obama has it, Indra Nooyi has it. But then
Right.
when it came to defining it, they were not unable to articulate what exactly are these skills. So
Okay.
3 years ago, I started a journey,
Mm-hmm.
and I wanted to research, and I met with a lot of people. I interviewed a lot of industrialists, private equity partners, a
Mm-hmm.
lot of entrepreneurs, professionals. So it's a very
Okay.
wide spectrum, HR heads, and tried to figure out what exactly is executive presence in the Indian workplace. Because
Okay. Okay.
all the books that are available on the shelves today
Mm-hmm.
on this subject have been
Mm-hmm.
written by foreign authors who have
Yes,
possibly
yes,
never, yeah,
yes, yes. I
who have
really
never,
find that that so many best-selling books, or the people who they recommend foreign author book, and then
yeah.
we buy it, and then we read it,
But
and
see, they're all
so
written by foreign authors who have
yes,
possibly
yes.
never visited India and have
Mm-hmm.
had minimal interactions with Indians. So, what
Yes.
is executive presence in the Indian workplace was something that I wanted to research. It took
Okay.
3 years, and
Mm-hmm.
I put it all together. I was lucky. HarperCollins published it as a book and is done very well and has been declared a bestseller by
Yes,
Amazon
yes, yes.
purely on pre-sales numbers. So
Okay.
yes, it
Okay.
was. Yes, I'm happy and very contented that the book has done well, and there have been excellent reviews.
Yes,
So
yes. I have also seen the review. This is awesome.
thank you.
Yes, yes. So okay, that's wonderful. And so when it comes to the CEO responsibilities, so what responsibility they have and how they follow them. So it's a it's a question that was going in my mind, that how they do the things. We just hear, but in actual reality, you have coached so many CEOs. So how the things goes.
Yes, I've trained over 1,000 CXOs, and I would definitely say that they are very focused. They have high level of self awareness. They have a deep rooted desire to succeed. They are definitely intellectually very good and technically sound, and they work very hard. But I wanted to understand what exactly are the other skills. Now, some things are traits and some things are skills. The
Mhm.
good news is that executive presence is a skill, which means it is learnable. And just by polishing and, first of all, building awareness, and upgrading a few skills, you can definitely maximize your potential. So
Mhm.
the formula is very simple. It's called the POISE formula of leadership, where
Right.
each of the letters stands for one aspect of executive presence. So the P stands for your physical presence, which could be your attire, and
Mhm.
packaging matters. Companies know that. That's why they spend billions of dollars in packaging their products. So
Yes,
as an
yes.
individual, your attire is your personal packaging. The
Okay.
second aspect of it is a very integral component, which is non-verbal communication, or what we commonly call as body language.
Okay.
Physicality
Okay.
matters and body language communicates very effectively. So, whether it is your
Yes.
eye contact, or it is
Mhm.
your posture, or
Mhm.
it is the way you gesticulate, a lot of things, including micro expressions, which go
Okay.
past your face when you're speaking. So,
Mhm.
we've all
Mhm.
been coached on verbal, but nobody has ever
Yes.
been coached on non-verbal. So,
Okay.
that is important. So, the P focus on the physical presence. The O focuses on the online presence.
Okay. These days, online is
It's become very important. Yeah.
yes, yes.
Yeah. So, one,
Mhm.
of course, if I punch your name into Google, what shows up? And
Mhm.
based on that, people eh, decide to do business with you or retain you or hire you or promote you. So, your
Mhm.
online presence is important, whether it is social networking or it is professional networking sites, the photographs that are visible. So, those create impact. And there
Okay.
is no
Okay.
denying that people are constantly passing judgment. So, if
Yes.
you're given,
Yes.
yeah,
Yes. So true.
yeah, and if you're given a choice, you might as well curate it because you can make it look good. and you
Mhm.
can make it look appropriate, and
Mhm.
what is a personal brand that you're communicating on
Mhm.
these sites. That's one
Okay.
aspect. Second aspect of online presence is your virtual presence. When somebody switches on a camera
Mhm.
and starts doing business with you, what
Mhm.
is the image that is being communicated? Is it professional? Are you
Okay.
punctual? Are you well groomed? Are you audible, visible? What about the background? So multiple things. Have you invested in infrastructure so that
Mhm.
you can do great business? So many
Okay.
things make a difference. The I stands for your influencer skills, whether it is your ability to focus,
Mhm.
your maturity as a professional, as well
Okay.
as, of course, a very integral component, which is listening skills.
Okay.
The
Okay.
S stands for your stage presence, which means what are your public speaking skills? And as a
Mhm.
leader, since you're constantly communicating, motivating, influencing, how you communicate is also very important so that the message is not lost. The
Yes.
E,
So,
yeah, yeah, the E stands for your engagement or ability to connect with people. In common terms, we call it networking. So there is
okay.
internal networking within the organization so that you have
Mhm.
the right visibility. And there's external networking with clients, vendors, so that you're communicating the right brand of your organization. So that is the entire formula. Simple to
Yes.
um, remember and follow. But
Yes.
yes, that I thought could help people um, identify. It also works as a diagnostic tool. So you can identify which is your strength. Like sometimes people write to me and say, the letter P and the letter I is my strength, but I need to upgrade my O. So I think it also
Yes.
works as a little bit of a diagnostic tool.
Okay. And you simplified it. The entire CEO presence then into the one part, second part, third part, and we can definitely correlate with. So, do I have speaking abilities? Am I on the stage? Am I on the doing the very well in the communication? And how much is my personal brand on the LinkedIn or other places on the website? So definitely now it is correlatable that we can identify each and every thing, and the poise formula, it's really important, very important.
Yes,
Yes,
thank you.
yes. Yeah. So my next question is like, many people like me who wants to be the CEO or become the CEO. So what is the plan for them? Like I am right now, you know, I'm in the corporate, and I am as a senior software engineer. But I have the desires, I have dreams to to be CEO. So how one like me can plan, and then how he can go about it.
I really feel that ability to communicate effectively and present yourself with authority and confidence, what is commonly called as gravitas, is a very important skill. Up to a certain level in the organization, it is technical skills, intellectual skills, and hard work. But after that level in the organization, all these become hygiene factors, which means if they are there, they are not visible. They are only visible when they are not there. So everybody is working hard and has IQ as well as technical skills. So,
Intelligence,
what is
yes.
going to be your competitive edge? Your competitive edge is only going to be how you present yourself and how you present your organization and how you are able to communicate. So, I think this executive presence steps in here, and understanding, building self awareness, diagnosing what are your areas of gaps, and of course, understanding that you can constantly keep upgrading, learning, unlearning, relearning.
Yes.
And I always tell people that nobody is perfect, everybody is work in progress. So, yes, it's important.
Okay, okay, that's really fantastic. So, like when it comes to CEO, so what challenges they face? I just heard about it, not gone into that field, but there are so many challenges they face. So, what are those challenges, and how they overcome them?
There are a lot of challenges at different times. If you see the last year, the pandemic, the
Mhm.
challenges have been phenomenal, whether it is
Yes.
how to display empathy, respect for the employee, respect for the customer, environment. First quarter was very tough because of the fact that,
Yes.
everything had shut down. Then recovery was slow, and of course now it's picked up steam. So they were battling on all fronts. But I think the one skill that I can clearly say CEOs who have emerged as winners, which they
Mhm.
have shown, is definitely staying calm in a crisis. And leaders who have stayed calm have displayed much more maturity. They've
Mhm.
also displayed clarity of thought, and they have also understood the real problems which could be related to the employee or to the delivery, to the deadlines. So, yes, summing in short, I think executive maturity has emerged as a critical leadership skill in the last 12 months. And of course, respect for employee and environment and customer.
Okay, okay, okay. That's really wonderful. So one more question like you are running a NGO as well, right? And
Yes.
so I want to know about that NGO, more about it, and what are the learning opportunities from the NGO, who should join and why they should join the NGO. So what is the science behind that?
Sure. It started in 2007. It's already in its 14th year of operation. We have impacted about 1,400 lives,
Mhm.
young women engineers, so women in STEM. They are from lower income societies,
Mhm.
and they are all engineers. And we felt that an understanding of soft skills would definitely improve their ability to communicate and create impact, starting with the job interview and of
Mhm.
course later on in the corporate world. So we have a 600-hour proprietary curriculum which was created by somebody who's a specialist in this field, and we also provide mentoring from corporate mentors. Currently, we have about 600 girls in the program across 4 centers. Now, what we really do is help them upgrade the way they present themselves. Could be in English language, interviewing skills, general knowledge, multiple areas where they can present themselves with confidence, especially when they start their corporate journey. Very happy to share that an average girl has increased her family income anything from 2 to 5 times in a
Okay,
single year. And
okay,
yes, our girls have done very well, and they are placed in different parts of the world. And it's yes, I always felt that this aspect would definitely bridge the gap of unequal opportunities, and
Mhm.
yes, the gender gap in the Indian workplace. So yes, we are lucky, and we are always looking to grow and build capacity, as well as of course we are always looking for corporate mentors. So if any of
Okay,
your listeners are interested, they can write in directly. The NGO is called Catalyst with a K. So Catalyst Winds of Change.
okay,
So they
okay.
really are caterpillars who become butterflies at the end of 4 years with a 600-hour parallel curriculum.
Okay, okay. That's really awesome. That you are doing so many things. You are running the NGO as well, and then providing the training, having the and you also went to the multiple times on the TED talk, right? So I also want to hear from that aspect as well. So how did you plan, and how we can prepare to be on the TED talk?
Okay, just taking a step back, the NGO I don't run, it is
Mhm.
professionally run. But
Okay,
yes, I definitely am there in the capacity of a board member, advisor, and constantly there to support the team. So,
okay.
yes, coming back to TED Talks,
Mhm.
what is executive presence for women leaders was very important. Also, studying the Indian workplace over the last 2 decades, what are the ways that they can enhance their executive presence and what opportunities they get. So I gave them 5 simple messages. One was that you have to ace your first impression, especially when it comes to non-verbal communication, and
Mhm.
display the body language of an achiever or a winner. The
Okay.
second is invest in your online presence and focus on networking online because it has created wonderful opportunities. Third, of course, was how to inspire confidence and to own your success. which is important because many times women don't do that, and they suffer from the fear of being too powerful or the imposter syndrome. So, how
Mhm.
to own your success, ladies. The fourth, of course, was to how to engage with people and how to network internally as well as externally. And finally, it was how to project yourself with confidence in a business meeting. Could be two people, could be 10 people in a conference room or a Zoom call, or 500 people in a town hall. So, a few tips and tricks and techniques to
Mhm.
enhance your executive presence and maximize your the way you create impact in the corporate world or
Okay.
entrepreneurial journey.
Okay, okay, that's really great. That's and thank you, Seetal ma'am, for this one for giving the time and
Thank you.
discussing these really important questions. And thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you. And one a final thing, in case your viewers have any questions related to my area of expertise, they can send me a direct message on Twitter or go to my website and connect with me, and I'll be happy to answer their questions.
Yeah, definitely. I will share the link, and they definitely can follow you and ask any questions they have. So,
Thank you.
thank you so much. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.